Hello folks, this is Sullla once again. Welcome to another video for League of Legends. In this video we're going to be taking another look at Karthus, and this time a jungle Karthus. Yes, you may have seen this at some point in time, either in a professional game where it has been played, I wouldn't say a lot, but has been played a little bit, or just the occasional solo queue game. Karthus has also been played in bot lane a little bit, particularly a few patches ago when he was a little bit stronger before he got a nerf to his Q. But in this video we are going to be looking at him specifically as a jungler. This is taken from one of our custom 5v5 YouTube game nights. These are all people who are either followers of the YouTube channel or just showed up on a Tuesday night to join us for some of these custom games. So these are teams of 5, everybody's on voice communication, so we have like real 5v5, which is something you don't get that often, especially if you play a lot of solo queue. Let me go ahead and set up the teams here. We also have some really weird bottom lanes in this particular game. I'll talk a little bit more about this as this goes along, but we are going to have a Sullla and Pantheon bot lane on one side, and then we're going to have on the other side a Kalista plus Lee Sin. So yes, Pantheon support and Lee Sin support. Aggressive kill lane supports. The Sullla plus Pantheon bottom lane was actually played, as I understand it, in one of the final games for the Korean League of Legends. I can't recall what the league is called. It used to be OGN. It's got a different name now, but it was actually played in so this is not just super troll. This was actually played in like a very high stakes legit game. The Kalista plus Lee Sin not so much. So we'll try to peek in on that bottom lane as well and get some views on kind of what's happening there in this particular game, just because that lane is so unusual as well. Alright, so I'll talk more about Karthus jungle in a minute. Let me just give you the laning matchups real quick. So up in top lane, we have Kalista is played by Bam Bam against Shen is played by Faflek. In mid, we're going to have Tiger 474 playing Morgana against Myth playing as Ahri. Bot lane is that matchup I already mentioned before. Sullla is played by Troll Warrior, and Pantheon is played by Resiak against Kalista is played by Saint Showdown, and Lee Sin is played by Electric. So yes, it's not a jungle Lee Sin, it is a support Lee Sin. And then I'm going to be jungling as Karthus, and then T-Rex is going to be jungling as Vi. Alright, so a little bit about jungle Karthus. He is a very weak jungler as far as like 1v1ing the enemy jungler. You don't really have any presence as far as ganking lanes, so you have to be kind of careful picking this. You don't want to pick it into losing lanes because you can't really offer any support for your laners at early levels. Basically what Karthus wants to do is just farm and scale. He wants to get up to 6 as soon as possible and then be able to use his ult to help other champions around the map. By and large, jungle Karthus, pretty much the idea is you get to level 6 and then your ultimate is how you help the rest of the team. Like you ult into fights. Also note the big mana restoration for killing the Scuttle Crab. That was pretty nice. So as far as my initial path, I started at red buff, got help from my team. I immediately then ran to blue and did blue immediately thereafter, and then went and took the Scuttle Crab. And fortunately, I was able to get that. I was in no position to fight for it. If T-Rex had showed up, I would have had to back off. But T-Rex was taking the bottom Scuttle Crab. That's what I was hoping she would do. And so I was able to get out of it with no other problems. With blue buff, Karthus does clear extremely fast. He is very fast at clearing the jungle. He can't really fight the other junglers, so you have to be really careful. And the other thing I was worried about is I was worried about me being invaded on, but fortunately T-Rex did not invade my jungle. Instead, T-Rex was doing other good stuff, killing Tiger in mid lane for first blood, so a pretty good use of T-Rex's time. But the good news is my camps were still up and I did not lose them, so now I'm going to be able to finish my clear with grabbing the Raptors here and then going down to Krugs and doing a complete full clear of my jungle, getting all the camps, and then also getting the Scuttle Crab. Alright, we also have a kill in bot lane, so let's just watch how this gets started. I was going to transition to that. Alright, so we've got the 2v2. Both sides are at about half health, roughly speaking. So we want to see how this initiation gets started. Alright, so Resiak's going to flash in, and then the Sullla boulder shove backwards is going to finish off the first kill. And then the Warrior flashes in and gets the second kill. So wow, that was played pretty fast. Fast fingers there. Resiak flashes in, gets the initial kill. No, actually both kills went to Droll Warrior. So Droll Warrior got the initial kill and then flashed for the second kill. And so they have gotten out to the early lead in the 2v2 lane. As I finish up my jungle clear here on the jungle Karthus. I'm not going to talk too much about skilling Karthus because it's pretty basic. You skill your Q first. Put a point in your E, your Defile at level 4, and put a point in Defile at level 2, and then you put 1 point in Wall of Pain at level 4, and you leave it there. So Q first, E second, obviously scale your ult when it's up. W is your 1 point skill. This is exactly the same as for a laning Karthus, so no differences there. Now the one really annoying thing about this video is whenever I rewind, it usually resets the lane. Oh, it actually did not reset the lanes. Wow, did they actually fix that bug in the new 9.7 patch? It did not reshuffle the scoreboard down here. Oh, cool. That's one of the most annoying things about this about the spectator client. Also, solo kill there for Bomb Bam. Let's go ahead and just take a quick look at that since it no longer resets the scoreboard. All right, so Faflick just gets really, really low. Let's see what Bomb Bam... Oh, yep, just lands the Ignite. And oh, Faflick's going to try to shield that, but nope, not enough. So I don't play that much Jungle Karthus, and you can tell that I don't play that much Jungle Karthus here because all my camps were down, and I was like, oh, where am I going to go next? Because I'm not going to look to invade the enemy jungle with Karthus. Like, it's just way too much chance of getting popped on and killed. So I do use the Scrying Bloom, clear out a ward, so that's not bad, and now I know that the Krug is going to reset. It's going to respawn here. So I'm just waiting for this to respawn, and this is not what you should be doing as a jungler. Ideally, you'll have your path mapped out much better than I do here. It's like, uh-oh, wasting time, wasting time. This is, again, not good jungling. See, like, T-Rex is doing something useful. She's already ganked mid, and she's taking the Scuttle Crab here. T-Rex plays a lot more jungle than I do. And then you're going to see me screw up this camp. So, again, I'm trying to just, you know, kite this thing backwards to avoid taking too much damage. But look, it's about to releash, and oh, great googly moogly. Yep, so the Krug's going to releash. And again, this is how not to jungle, because I've taken way too much damage on this camp. And I actually have Smite up as well, so I really should have just smited that camp when it was about to leash. So not the best, but now I will go and look to re-clear my camps. And again, this is what you want to do as Karthus. You're trying to farm up to 6 as quickly as possible. But I am going to have to back after this camp because I screwed up pretty badly and also did not even use Smite. Probably should just use it here. So yeah, not the best. Let's check in on the other lanes while Jungle Karthus is just backing. So we saw that Bomb Bam got that earlier kill onto Faflick. Faflick hasn't really lost a lot of farm, but Bomb Bam is definitely ahead. He's going to get the Camille ultimate, and Faflick should be able to escape out of this, but is getting forced off the minion wave, which of course is not especially great and is now going to have to back, so it's going to fall a little bit further behind in farm. In mid, it's a little bit closer. Tiger is actually slightly ahead on farm, although I guess Myth's going to catch up when he takes this. Tiger did suffer the earlier deaths when T-Rex ganked the lane. And then in bottom lane, we, again, have this really weird lane. They're basically doing the Sona Taric thing, which I did a video on, like, a little while ago. Sona Taric bot lane. I thought that it was like a joke troll thing, and then it got played repeatedly in the playoffs for both North America and Europe at the end of Season 9 Spring, so apparently not as troll as I thought. But they're basically doing the same thing with the Relic Shield on the Pantheon, and then the Spell Thief on the Taliyah. The idea is that the Pantheon will take the initial farm, while Drill Warrior on Taliyah is farming up the Spell Thief, and then once the Spell Thief, once the Spell Thief transforms, then Taliyah will start taking farm, and then Pantheon will go into like more of the normal support setup. So that's the idea there. It makes it a little tricky to tell like who's kind of ahead in these matchups, just because like the minion kills are so off from what they would normally be. But it looks like Taliyah, yeah, is about to get that transform, and then you'll start to see Taliyah playing more like a traditional, like kind of a normal bot laner at that point. As far as me on Karthus, I have finished my second clear. After I went back and bought, I went and did the Raptors, then I went and did red, and then I ran up and did blue. And now I am 6, and now I can actually... Now the game kind of begins for Jungle Karthus, because now I can actually like ult into fights. Again, I still have like no ganking presence whatsoever, but like now that I have my ult, I'm actually useful to the team. So I'm just going to look to take the Scuttle Crab, and by the way, it's actually easier to take the Scuttle Crab when you don't have Defile running some of the time, because it will like run away. And yeah, the Scuttle Crab is not easy for Karthus to take, but you know, give it time, eventually it'll go down. And now I'm going to look to head up here to the top lane. I do have my ult, so again, if we can get Faflick low, we can look to, you know, we can look to use the Karthus ult even if he retreats back away from the tower. Meanwhile, though, T-Rex is setting up a better gank. Again, Karthus not a ganking jungler. So the Vi is going to come in. Black Shield blocks the initial charm from coming in from Myth, but you can't Black Shield the Vi ultimate, and so that's going to be another nice kill. So 2 kills for T-Rex in the mid lane, and at this point, T-Rex has definitely out-jungled me thus far. Right now, we have managed to force Faflick to back, so we're just using this to shove in the minion wave, deny farm, and take some of these tower plates. So Faflik is falling behind in this top lane because we are committing resources to putting him behind on the Shen. Now, the other thing is, again, as the jungle Karthus, I'm up in top lane. The enemy team can see me in top lane, and so that's going to open up an opportunity for TRX to come down here and try to take this dragon. It is a very valuable dragon. It is an Infernal Drake, so definitely something that their team would love to get. I am not in any position to fight for this, so our team's just going to have to give this up, and they're going to claim the first dragon off of this. They also have the Callista as well, which gives them a lot of dragon control with the Callista Ren. Actually was fairly close to being stolen there. Drow Warrior almost managed to take that with the Kalia Q. The Threaded Volley. See, I don't know the names of Kalia's skills. I'll have to maybe do a video of her at some point in time. For Q, the Threaded Volley. Almost managed to get that. Anyway, so we've got a fight coming in there. We see the Pantheon stun going in onto Electric. They're going to get low, and we're going to see the Callista ult used. But again, this is why it's nice to have a Karthus on your team. And so we're going to see the Shen ult go onto Saint. In retrospect, it probably should have gone onto Electric, but again, it's hard to know exactly who needs to be, hard to know who exactly should get the Shen ult in like these close fights. So I get a kill for pressing R, hooray for that. And this is one of the benefits of putting Karthus in the jungle. You can kind of store Karthus, who is a weak laner, in a safe spot. You know, like stick him in the jungle. Ideally, you will be in a position where you're not getting invaded on. Like ideally, your lanes are strong enough that you're not seeing your jungle invaded and the Karthus getting ganked repeatedly. So it gives Karthus just like a safe place to sit and farm and scale for late game. The other nice thing about that is the Shen ult came to bot lane, but it was not enough to save Electric from being killed, and that meant that Faflik was not in top lane, and so Bombam able to get more plates, able to deny more farm on the tower. And Faflik did not have teleport back up to get back to lane. You can see it's just coming off of cooldown, so Bombam's able to deny a significant amount of farm. Here in mid, Tiger looks like he's about to die, but actually hits a really clutch binding to survive. I remember watching that when we were playing this game. And although, yes, Tiger's going to lose some farm here, not dying there is pretty nice. Just a really nice job of hitting a Dark Binding at exactly the moment it needed to land. Meanwhile, Bombam has taken the top turret, so we are on blue team pretty far ahead in gold. We're like 4,500 ahead on gold. However, their team did take the initial Infernal Drake, so that will help them out, and that will help them in their scaling. Over here, we're going to see their team look to come in, and I'm going to flash that Lee Sin Q, because if that hits me, I am almost certainly going to die. I actually had more help than I thought. I had the Talia help from Drow Warrior, and then we had the Pantheon ult dropping in from Resiak. But it wasn't a fight I wanted to take on, and indeed you can see Drow Warrior is going to get caught out here, and Saint is going to pick up that kill. Just kind of got engaged on by 3 members of the team, and did not want to chase into that. Didn't think we could win that fight, so that's pretty nice of them to get that. They get the little killing spree right there, and that's also going to give Saint a little bit more time to farm. Blue team is furthest ahead up in the top lane right now, where Bombam has been shoving in Faflik to that second turret, and now can kind of roam around in their jungle. This is a really nice ward, just kind of, not to get too far off topic, but like this is a great ward, sees deep into their jungle, gives us lots of vision, and also helps make Bombam much safer in top lane if he wants to keep pushing aggressively up there against the Shen. Meanwhile, the one lane where red team is in pretty good shape. Oh man, Saint is so low. I was going to say they were able to take that initial kill and shove in the lane. Electric, oh man, actually gets the kill on Resiak, but Drow Warrior will counter that and pick up the kill with Talia. So 1 for 1 down there in the bottom. We were like, wow, why isn't Karthus ult up right now? And Drow Warrior just kind of walks that one in and finishes it off. Note that he did have boots too, so probably had a little bit of extra movement speed. So Drow Warrior chases that down, does get the 2 for 1. And continues to snowball down there. 4-1-1 in bot lane, so continuing to snowball ahead. Actually does have more gold than the Callista, even though Drow Warrior was not farming in the early game. And you can see Pantheon, who was farming in the early game, well ahead of the Lee Sin, who was playing a more traditional support role. As far as me on jungle Karthus, I'm trying to come in here, trying to help out Myth. Bombas manages to force out the Shen ult, so poor Faflik getting repeatedly tossed out of the lane. I also did pick up a Dark Harvest stack there. Don't know if you saw that, but did get the little Dark Harvest rock there, just off of the Karthus Q. And then Tiger hits a great binding. I followed up with the wall, and then the Karthus Q is going to pick that one off. So very nice there. Does Myth have his ult up? No, he does not. So if we were able to land a binding, we could probably get a kill, but no minions mean we're going to be chased off the turret. Meanwhile, in bot lane, we're going to see Drow Warrior pick up another double kill down there. So at this point in time, the Talia and the Pantheon have decisively snowballed ahead in the bot lane. And it's actually unfortunate that the Infernal Dragon is not up, because this would be a perfect time to go and grab that Infernal Drake. Since it is not up, we don't really have anything we can do other than shove minion waves into the tower in bot lane, do the same thing here, and then we'll look to go and take this Rift Herald. So this is really the ideal situation for a jump-up Karthus game. Note that I have not really been ganking lanes a whole lot. I have 2 kills, but one of them was literally just hitting R on my champion into a fight that was going on elsewhere. But it's not to discount the damage. I mean, it does matter when you have the global presence on the team, but it's not like I've been pulling off like amazing plays or anything like that. And we are going to get this Rift Herald because, again, we had the lanes really shoved in on other parts of the map. I actually forget to pick up the Rift Herald because, again, don't jungle that much, and there was no Rift Herald in earlier seasons. But we see the Bomb Bam picks it up anyway, so it does not go to waste, and then looks to jump on top of Baffling here in top lane. So let's keep an eye on this fight here. See if you can jump this down. Well, there's another fight being engaged right there. Electric goes in, kicks Stroll Warrior back, and then the Vi ultimate comes out. I'm looking to try to initiate on that, but they have numbers. This is not a fight that it looks like we can win right now. So I'm going to look to back off. And then in top lane, Bomban really wants to finish off this kill on Baffling and does in fact get it. It's just snowballed far enough ahead with the Tiamat and with 2/3 of the Trinity Forest to be able to get that. But on the bottom side of the map, Red Team's able to take the advantage of the kill they picked up on Stroll Warrior to look to go after and claim this Infernal Drake. Electric's going to follow that Q in, which is really a little bit surprising. Then I thought I could finish him off with my ult. But as it turns out, he was still in the Callista ult, so just not get hit. Wasn't expecting that, was not expecting the Callista ult to grab the Lee Sin and pull him in, so Electric does survive that. Was really close on timing out, but was able to stay held in that invulnerability state for just long enough to dodge the Karthus damage. I'm not sure if it would have been quite enough damage to finish it off, but I think that would have been enough to get the kill. Meanwhile, down here, Reskiak's going to try to 1v1 against Saint. Let's see if he can win this. Does get the initial Pantheon stun, but now Saint is doing what Callista does, dance backwards, kite around, and it's going to turn into an inconclusive fight right here. Yeah, so they're both going to back off. Needed the Karthus ult helping out there, I think. In terms of just raw farm, I guess I was able to get that one. Wow, was it? How did that fight finish? I thought that fight was over. Let's go back and see the tail end of that. So apparently the fight continued. I thought it was done. Let's see. Oh, I see. It's the Sullla. Okay, it's the Sullla ult. And then shit, yeah, okay. So the Sullla ult creates that kill. Stroll Warrior ults, and then there's no choice for Saint but to run forward, and then gets the kill through the Shen ult. So unfortunately, Faflik has not been able to save a lot of these. He's been trying to use the Shen ult to save these fights, but has not been able to. Overall, blue team's about 5,000 gold ahead, and we're going to summon the Rift Herald here in mid to hopefully finish off this mid turret. Red team does have the double Infernal, so they are going to have good late game scaling off of that. It'd be really nice for my team, for blue team, if we could just take one more Infernal, because ideally there'll be a third Infernal that spawns, and we'll have a chance to make a play on that, but has not spawned yet, and the next one is a Cloud Drake, so we won't have, we will not have that immediate chance to do so. Electric dashes to dodge the Sullla boulder shove backwards. Nice black shield on the Stroll Warrior. And now Tiger's going to go in using the Morgana ultimate. We're trying to chase this fight down. Myth is retreating, Electric's retreating. Another nice Dark Binding into long range. So that's a 3 for 0 thus far, and now Saint's trying to get out, but he will not be able to escape. We did... Oh, Karthus ult was on cooldown. I was going to say, didn't even need the Karthus ult. It was on cooldown. So did not have it up, but we win the fight 4 for 0. And it's unfortunate that there's no dragon to claim, but we will shove in and take this bottom turret. And at this point, blue team's pretty far ahead and is in good position to just continue snowballing this game. So we'll want to do our best to try and take objectives to snowball the game further along. I wouldn't say we have the greatest late game scaling because we don't have like a traditional ranged AD. We have like magic damage, and then we have Callista, and then we've got the Pantheon. Pantheon's one of the champions with some of the worst late game scaling in the game. So our late game is not exactly great here, and we will want to try to hurry along this game if possible, and try to finish it off sooner rather than later, now that we've ballooned out to like this 8,000 gold lead or something crazy like that. So as I mentioned before, for Karthus, you max the Q first, E second, W is your 1-point skill. I know I'm repeating myself, but I figure it doesn't hurt. Obviously, skill your ult whenever it's available. My ult's like 1 minion away from hitting rank 2, which is pretty good. There is a fight going on elsewhere, and I'm going to ult. Myth then tries to go back in, and he actually is going to get the kill on Bombast. Gets a shutdown in the process. Bombast could have just backed off because, you know, we had the Karthus ult up. T-Rex looking to dash away, not quite able to, so Stroll Warrior also picks up another kill. So we end up going 2 for 1 in the extended fight, and I get another kill. Again, largely just due to being able to press R and use the Karthus ultimate. Damage on the ult is now up to about 500 magic damage. Alright, so as far as building jungle Karthus, again, it's pretty straightforward. I'll talk about the Karthus itemization in jungle as we watch this action here in the mid lane. So you want to get the Stalker's Blade with the runic echoes on top of that Resiac. Going a little bit deep here, going to get finished off by that tower. And now Drill Warrior as well. Nice Shen ult again from Faflick. Going to keep Electric alive, although he kind of dashes into that Kalia Q. And now Faflick's pretty low. I think it's a 1 for 1, or 1 for 2, I guess. Maybe 2 for 2 in the extended trade. Anyway, so you want the Stalker's Blade into Runic Echoes. This is pretty standard. Get your jungle item first. Karthus is not inherently a normal jungler, so you do need to get that jungle item first. And again, he clears really fast once he gets this. I'm actually doing a super scary invade right now, trying to take these Krugs. And I am going to manage to get most of them. Yeah, we did not have vision in their jungles. That was super risky, but I do go ahead and get that. Alright, so anyway, get that item first, and then after that it's a little bit more open-ended. Like, it's just, if you have a very generic build, the next item is probably a Oblivion Orb, just because you can build the Oblivion Orb for 1600 gold and then just sit on it. Like, not upgrade it to the Morellonomicon, just sit on it. I am not doing that here. I'm actually going for the Zanya's Hourglass second, and the rationale for that is their team is pretty AD heavy. They have the Vi, the Callista, and the Lee Sin, so their team is mostly doing physical damage. Myth is the only one who's doing magic damage. Nice charm from Myth there, by the way. And Myth is, I wouldn't say Myth has been shut down, but he hasn't been super strong in this game by any means. So I'm going for the Zanya's next. As you see me grab that kill on the tail end of that play. And this will clear us to go ahead and grab the Cloud Drake. So really, you want to get that jungle item. After that, if the itemization opens up a bit, like I said, Oblivion Orb is kind of like your standard item. Zanya's never really a bad item on Karthus. I thought it would be a good fit for this particular game, so I went for that. And then I'm going to look to go for the Oblivion Orb into Morellonomicon. And then you probably want to get Death Cap as your third or fourth item, depending on the game. You want to wait until you have enough AP that the percentage bonus on the Death Cap is like cost efficient, because Death Cap is an insanely expensive item to build. One of the most expensive in the game. So you don't want to like rush a Death Cap as your second item, but as a third or fourth item, it's pretty good. And you're going to see me start to work towards that later on in this game. I am quite strong in terms of the gold. See, 8,000 gold. This is again the advantage of having Karthus as a jungler. If you are able to ult into fights and claim some kills with your ultimate, you can have basically the equivalent of solo lane farm, which is more or less what I have. And so that means you kind of, again, get the advantage of having what's kind of like getting another carry on your team, but by getting them in the jungle role. So, advantages and disadvantages. Karthus scales really well, gives you a chance to put Karthus, who's not a great laner, into a place that's safer. And Karthus is also really good at doing Baron and Dragon. He kills them very, very fast because of that Defile Aura. And also because of the damage on the Lay Waste, you get the single target damage. Now that said, here the enemy team is going to catch us at Dragon. We're kind of trying to force a fight because we were way ahead, and they get the initial kill on the Drill Warrior. Now we're going to continue to follow that up. We're doing a lot of damage here, so we've managed to go 3 for 1 already. So the start of this fight is great, and now we're going to continue looking to chase this down. However, Myth is still alive. He's going to hit the charm on Resiac. He's going to get that kill. Now we're looking to chase after Faflick, who's really low, but Myth still has charges of his ult up. He's going to finish me off, and then Bomban is trying to get the kill. I'm going to ult into this, but Myth is able to finish off Bomban for a triple kill and salvage the fight. It ends up being a 4 for 4. And I think that was a really nice kind of back end of that fight by Faflick and Myth to turn that into a 4 for 4 from what was really kind of a losing fight. We initially went 3 for 1, and then they finished off by going 3 for 1 as well, with Myth getting a triple kill. And this has kind of put him back into the game as a relevant threat. Like I said, he wasn't really shut down, but his RA was not especially strong. However, after getting that triple kill, Myth is now the strongest member of his team. He got about... well, with the shutdowns, I'd say he probably got a little over 1,000 gold off of that triple kill. So, and also runs a score of 4-3-3 on the match. That said, overall in the game, blue team is, what, 8, almost 9,000 gold ahead right now. And it's really the only thing keeping red team in it is the double Infernal Drakes. If blue team's able to get another Infernal Drake, this one's probably going to be over. Resiac's going to initiate onto Saint, gets the initial Pantheon stun. That's pretty much what Pantheon's going to be as the game goes on, just like a stun bot. As I mentioned, he does not scale very well into late game. and he's not going to be tanky enough to survive any fight long term, but turn into a great laning phase and is in a position where he's still going to be useful just for the single target CC. Just can't really, is not tanky enough to frontline anyone. We'll see. I mean, he's still going to be effective in this game, don't get me wrong, because he actually has more gold than me as the Karthus, so I probably shouldn't say too much, but just like inherently Pantheon's not a great late game champ. Bomban was able to pick off Faflick right there, so this is going to give us an opportunity to try to look to do something with this 5v4 power play, look to push. Miss going to toss out a charm, it does miss right there. So we're looking to pressure the bot lane. We don't have any dragon advantage here, so again, no infernals, no mountains to help us push. No, oh, we're going to see the charm land right there. Again, nice play by Myth. So that is going to finish off the kill. Sync gets that, and now Myth's going to walk away. I do not have Karthus ult up, otherwise that would have been a kill. And that's going to largely force us off this tower. So it kind of stops our push from going through. And we're going to be forced to back off because it is now only a 4v4, actually a 5v4 in their team's advantage. So a nice catch right there with the charm onto Drill Warrior, turns into a kill, stalls out our push, and keeps the game going a little bit longer. The best thing we can do kind of right now is keep farming minions and use this time to try to clear out their vision in the top red side jungle, because that will open up plays on the Baron for us. There is also a dragon spawning shortly, although it's an Ocean Drake. Probably the least consequential of the 4 dragon types to pick up at this stage of the game. But that said, it is up, and we can try to make a play on it. It always helps to have the dragons, obviously. Alright, Resiak looks like he wants to 1v1 Saint. He did pop the Ghost Blade. I don't think he can win this. Maybe I'm wrong. I guess we'll wait and see. Bomban's also pushing up pretty aggressively in top lane, so not the safest place to recall, I would say. But oh, the Jukes dodges out right into Electric. And with the help of Tiger, I think they're going to get this kill. Yeah, even forces out the Shen ultimate. So I'm not sure that that was a play that deserved to succeed, but it was a play that did succeed. And with the kill on Electric, we do have the 5v4 advantage, and we can look to force a fight over here at Baron. So that's what we're going to do. Again, this is kind of risky, probably unnecessarily risky, given that we have a 9,000 gold lead. But we're going to look to go for this. T-Rex is here, does have Smite up, so this is going to be dangerous. But we are going to grab the Baron, so we do get that. Drill Warrior actually gets popped. But now their team is really split. 2 of them are in the Dragon Pit, 2 of them are up here, and we're actually going to clean up their team in the Dragon Pit, but we end up losing Drill Warrior and Resiak, who kind of chased that forward. And oh, then I ulted and finished off T-Rex right there. Not the best camera work, but yeah, Karthus ult finishes that off. So we end up going 3 for 3, but we did take the Baron off of that. So we will have Baron on Karthus and on Morgana. Like I said, probably not the greatest thing to force. It would have been much better if we'd had a Mountain Drake to try and force that play. And now we're thinking, oh, well, we can't exactly push lanes. We were thinking that they would send someone to cover this bot lane because there were minions shoving on it. Instead, though, Saint and Electric run towards the dragon. I think we might have walked over a ward, but in any case, they're going to come in here. I'm actually out of mana as Karthus, so that's not great. I get the Black Shield, which is really nice. I did have Smite up, so I'm going to Smite it and then flash over the wall. Yeah, no opportunity to use Karthus ult, but it's actually pretty important that I survive, just so we have 1 Baron buff on our team so that we can buff the Baron minions. So it is important that at least 1 person on our team survive. That said, we really are not going to be able to get as much out of this Baron as we would like, largely because we all got cleaned up and killed in that fight. So in the long extended fight, it was a 4 for 3 in their team's favor. But we did get the Baron. So we did get the Baron gold out of it, and we will have the ability to push on 1 member of our team on the Karthus. Let's see, so I am at a point where I'm getting ready to hit level 16. I guess I still have about 1 full level away from getting the maxed out rank 3 Karthus ultimate, but maxed out the Lay Waste. They're doing about 200 damage each. We've got the Defile Aura, and Wall of Pain's getting skilled up at this point. And I've also finished the Zanya second, and now I've finished the Morellinalcon. Now we'll start building towards Death Cap. Up in top lane, we do have a fight. We really shouldn't be fighting. It's a nice stun on the T-Rex, but then we see that Resiak gets popped as well. So 1 for 1. And right there, I'm actually going to land a pretty good Karthus ult to split the team. I'm going to use the Zanyas right when they look to go in and engage on me. Meanwhile, Bomban is going to get off the Callista, the Callista ultimate. And now I'm going to ult, and I was like, oh, please finish them off. And not quite enough. Faflick is going to go down to 170 health, so not enough to kill them. But again, this is why it was important that I survived earlier, because now we have the Baron. Oh, and a nice kill from Myth there. We're going to say it's important because now we have the Baron minions to help us on this siege, and that's going to help us look to get this tower. Also, getting the Ocean Drake earlier is helpful here because we're able to sustain, but Ocean Drake sustain is not going to help us there, as Tiger gets grabbed by a charm and killed. Myth really landing some clutch charms here, trying to keep his team in this, even though they're pretty far behind in gold. Well, really far behind in gold at this stage. So our push is going to stall out. We did get rid of the base turret here, but that's it. We can't shove further. Their team actually has the 5v3 advantage right now. Unfortunately for them, there's not really anything for them to take. Bombam's going after T-Rex. Does force a flash, not bad. But that's all that Bombam's going to be able to get right there. He's going to have to back off. If you want to see... Oh, and apparently Resiak got the kill on Saint. Oh, and now he's going to try to ult out of here, and he does actually make it out. Nicely done, Resiak. Wow. Not sure he did. Again, not sure he deserved to make it out, but did make it out. And now Ocean Drake plus Cloud Drake running out of there and regenning health. So it's going to show who is strongest right now in the game. It looks like Bombam has the most gold overall at 14,000, and then next closest is Joe Warrior with 13k, and then I am pretty much even with Resiak at 11,000. So is Myth and so is Saint. So we're kind of the strongest ones in the game right now. Again, we're very far ahead in this game, more than 10,000 gold ahead. We really need to look to try to finish off this game. We were not able to get as much off of the Baron push as I think we would have liked to. Oh, and by the way, yeah, note how much easier it is to take the Scuttle Crab now as compared to early in the game when it took like 20 Qs to finish off the Scuttle Crab. Yeah, Karthus does scale pretty well as the game goes on. Don't have that much ability power just yet, but a Death Cap will be the next item, and then that will get me up to 400-ish ability power. And can start doing the big time damage. Again, this is coming from the jungle, so keep that in mind. It's nice to be able to get that kind of damage output from the jungle role as opposed to a solo lane. All right, so we are now all in bot lane, which is normally a little bit of a dangerous place to be, but there's no Baron up, so don't have to worry about enemy team seeking Baron in a situation like this. So we're gonna look to try and put pressure on this tower, which does still have some damage on it from the last push. They have the Shen, but of course Shen can ult into the fight. Resiak's in mid, but of course Resiak can also ult into this fight. So just looking to see what kind of damage we can get on this. Again, we don't have a traditional ranged AD, so that does make it a little bit trickier. Jewel Warrior kind of has to be the ranged AD here, even though Calista doesn't have great range. Ooh, look at that damage coming out from the Sullla. So that is going to be enough to get that turret. And then in mid, we're going to see Bombam and Resiak are going to initiate on mid, and they're going to get a kill there as well. Now continuing the fight here, we're going to rotate over down here to the bottom lane. Nice kick back from Electric. Resiak looks like he's going to get popped. So that's going to be one kill back to them, but we do end up getting the turret. And it is now a 4v4 overall. We have not taken any inhibs, but we have exposed all 3 inhibs. So any one fight at this point is going to turn into an inhibitor take for us. There is another dragon getting ready to pop, so I think we were saying, hey, we don't really want to push into the base 4v4. We could, probably look to take a fight at that inhib, but let's do the safer thing. Go back to base, spend our gold, and then look to fight for the dragon, which Bombam is easily able to solo at this point. Look to fight for the dragon, and then look to fight for the Baron. And we'll try to make our play for the inhibs with the Baron buff, just because it should be easier to get it from there. Yeah, so I picked up the double needlessly large rods. That takes me up to like 400 ability power, and then a death cap will take that to like 450, almost 500. So. And it's something that, if you played this game a lot, you're probably familiar with. Both T-Rex and I are doing this right now. Always, always, always keep farming. Never stop farming as the jungler. This is true of every role in every lane in League of Legends, but you always, always, always need to be stacking up more gold. And, just as you walk past those jungle camps, make sure to grab them. I'm actually keeping pace pretty well with their solo lanes. I mean, the bot lane's pretty weird, so don't look at our bot lane, which has strange stuff going on. But I'm basically even with Saint on Calista, which is a good place to be as the jungler. And granted, we've kind of been living in their jungle. Oh no, the Baron! Oh, that was super duper sad for our team, but a nice grab from Myth. So this means we can't really force anything at Baron. We're just gonna have to stall out until Tiger revives, because we're not gonna look to take a fight 4v5. That would just be stupid. This is not solo queue. We can play smart. So I'm just gonna run this at double speed. We're waiting for Tiger to come back up. Just trying to avoid a fight. This gives a little reprieve for Red Team, which is nice for them. But not much going on, just throwing wards, throwing vision. This is kind of a long video anyway, so I'm going to try to speed this along. Tiger's back up. Here he comes. So Myth is able to stall that out as the vision battle continues. And now let's keep focus here on the bot lane. As Resiak and Faflik have gone to bot. Now Faflik can ult anywhere on the map with his Stand United, anywhere where there's a friendly champ at least. Whereas there is a range to the Pantheon ult. So Right now, Fafla can actually get into a fight in a way that Resiak cannot, so that's not great for us, but we're looking to force we're looking to force the Baron. We want to force fights because we're really far ahead. Again, this is dangerous, but we're going to get some help right here. Bombast's going to go over the wall. You're going to see the Shuttle force out onto Electric, and I am going to land the Smite, fortunately. So we get the Smite. Their team is forced into a situation they don't want to be in. Electric's trying to run away, and here comes the Karthus ultimate, and for Electric, nothing he can do. He tries to shield it, but it's not enough. So we're going to claim that, and even though it was kind of messy and not a great fight from a strategic standpoint, we only go 3 for 2 in that fight. Again, not great, but we do take the Baron. Fortunately, I land the Smite, and with no towers up here whatsoever, we can easily claim these inhibitors. They're pretty much forfeit for our team at this point. So Bombast hitting the inhib in top, Tiger and I are hitting the inhib in mid, and we're just going to look to claim these. We'd love to look to push in and finish the game, but Saint is quite strong, and even though we can grab these inhibs, we don't have super minions yet. So again, the much safer play here is take the inhibs and then look to back out. I mean, like, T-Rex is respawning, Electric respawning, this respawning. We can't finish off these turrets. It's way too risky to try, so just go back. I mean, super minions are going to spawn in every single lane. Back, wait till everybody's alive. We'll still have the Baron buff. 3 inhibs down plus 3 lanes of super minions. And the Baron buff is, can't defend it. Game's over. I do want to mention as well, I managed to pick up a lot of Dark Harvest stacks in this game. The 14 Dark Harvest stacks, not too shabby, adding quite a bit of damage to my ultimate when it goes off. And on this trip back, I did in fact have enough money to purchase the Death Cap. So with Death Cap and with the Baron buff that gives you the 40 base ability power, I'm at 633, and that ult now deals about 1,000 damage, so not too bad. This is where you want to be. 36 minutes is definitely late game, but this is where you want to drive towards as a jungle Karthus, and this is what you want to get. Alright, so I'm going to run at double speed again. Right now, we're literally just waiting for the supers to push in. Supers in mid, supers in mid, supers in top lane, supers in bot lane. And once they're here, now we're all just going to push in. Bomband also doing one last buy. And alright, we'll go back to normal speed. Again, there's just nothing that red team can really do here. They need to catch somebody out, but as long as we play smart, and by smart, I mean just like literally walk behind the supers as they push into the base, keep applying the Baron buff to all of them. Like ideally we need someone in top lane to apply the Baron buff to those minions as well. But as long as we just follow the minions into the base, there's nothing they can do. The supers are going to take down the base in like an instant. Well, not an instant, but really, really fast. Yeah, look how fast these towers are diving. Instead, Resiak flashes it, gets the kill on them, gets the kick there. And yeah, I mean, this game is 100% over. Nice knockback on Fafla, so he'll get finished off as well. And now Saint is going back to the base. Electric hops out, tries to get the knockup back, doesn't quite get it. The game actually ends with a triple kill coming out for Drill Warrior, as he picks up his 14th kill of the match right there at the end. So there you go. Kind of an easy game from my perspective as Jungle Karthus. All I really had to do was farm and ult into fights and, run my Defile and land Qs in the team fights. And that's not really that hard to do. So Karthus jungle, very strong if your lanes are winning, but the big weakness is you can't 1v1 the other jungler, so if you get invaded on, you're in a lot of trouble, and you can't put any pressure on the other lanes. So it's definitely a snowball kind of setup, and you're probably going to get raged at a lot if you try to play this in solo queue, is because if you fall behind, you're going to be pretty useless. But in a game like this, where your solo lanes are kind of ahead to begin with, it can snowball the winning lanes ahead that much further. So it does work better, I think, with kind of an early game comp, so you can just try to snowball early game and play from there. Anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this chance. I love getting a chance to showcase some Karthus gameplay, and I haven't done a Jungle Karthus video since like years and years ago. So hope this was entertaining. Hope you enjoyed seeing the Talia Pantheon lane and the Lee Sin support. So fun bottom lane and a memorable game. Anyway, until next time, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys again soon.